Okay. Welcome everyone to our poetry workshop brought to you by Hope at Hand as a part of the 10th annual Jack's Poetry Fest. Every April, Hope at Hand partners with a consortium of poets, cultural institutions, art agencies, and poetry enthusiasts to celebrate National Poetry Month with a special festival of poetry. Hope at Hand is a 501c3 nonprofit organization that provides poetry therapy sessions for vulnerable and at-risk youth, which facilitate healing and personal growth through the use of poetry, creativity, art, and therapeutic approaches. Today's workshop, The Poetry of Place, features Jennifer Wolfe. Jennifer Wolfe is a writer, trained journalist, and publisher of the annual anthology, A River Writing.
Okay, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I will light the candle. This candle today is not only marking the beginning of our sacred time together, but also to dispel what happened previously and create, I hope, a place of safety, of cautious safety. Everything is a metaphor, so I'm sure, and there is a lesson in everything, so I'm sure we will uncover what that is. But first, let me say thank you all for being here. And Emma and Ruth are your hosts. If you have any technical difficulties, please contact them in the chat. Okay. Okay. So I will share my screen and we'll begin. Coming back to my agenda. So my name is Jennifer Wolfe, and I am the founder of Women Writing for a Change Jacksonville. Women Writing for a Change is women-centered, but all welcoming, all welcoming. So if you are not a woman, you're still welcome on this screen today. We always begin with quotations, and I will read them. First of all, from Albert Camus. The purpose of a writer is to keep civilization from destroying itself. And from Sue Monk Kid, practice until you make it a song that sings you. From Jean Lohman, our words are feathers that fly on our breath. Let them go in a holy direction. And last, by Lucille Clifton. Poems come out of wonder, not of knowing. Thank you, Lucille. My dark horses. If only I were more like my dark horses. I wouldn't have to worry all the time that I was running too little and resting too much. I'd spend my hours grazing in the sunlight, taking long naps in the vast pastures. And when it was time to move along, I'd know. I'd spend some time with all those that I'd loved, then disappear into a gathering of trees. If only I were more like my dark horses, I wouldn't be so frightened of the storms. Instead, when the clouds begin to gather and fill, I'd make my way calmly to the shed and stand close to all the other horses. Together, we'd let the rain fall around us, knowing, as darkness passes overhead, that above all, this is the time to be still. And that is My Dark Horses by Jody Hollander. So today's circle is Poetry of Place. Women Writing for a Change does an annual art show focusing on underrepresented folks, primarily women. And our theme for the semester is Spaces and Places. So today's Poetry Circle is about what I'm going to call the poetry of place. And what I'd like to do, just because I like to keep things a little bit interactive, why don't you, in the chat, share with us your answer to the purpose of poetry is what? I mean, because up here we talk about the purpose of a writer is to keep us from destroying ourselves. What about a poet? What is the purpose of poetry? I'd love to hear what you have to say. Just drop a chat. This is another way of introducing you into the circle, the poetry of place. Oops. Okay. So let's see what we have. Purpose of poetry. The purpose of poetry is to heal and find connection, to capture the truth and whimsy of the world. The purpose of poetry is listening, to enlighten and tell a story. The purpose of poetry is to share and connect and to make sense of this world, practicing ways of putting ourselves in words and share our emotions, create connections. In short, the purpose of poetry is to illuminate the soul, to self-express and discover oneself through our ideas. Poetry shares and evokes. It tells the words of our heart. The purpose of poetry is to inspire, connect, to provoke thought and wonder, to explore what it is to be human, and to find joy in the everyday. The purpose of poetry is to say what can't be said, to express your inner self and recreate an experience for another. And finally, to vent, shine a light, and put flight to our feelings, and to experience them like a song. Okay, thank you all. That was nice. That was nice. Okay, so we're going to begin with what I call a fast write. Thank you, darling. A fast write is a term that is borrowed from coined by Natalie Goldberg, who wrote the book Writing Down the Bones. And in our circles, we do a fast write in a rather particular way. The purpose of a fast write, and I highly encourage this for everyone, in case you don't already do this as part of your practice, is to write to get ahead of your critic. right? Because that inner critic is back there down the road. You're right, you're running in front of it, okay? We do it fast so you just don't have time to think. We also want you to follow the energy of your thought. It's not like you tell it, no, no, I want to write about this. I want you to write with the first thought that comes up. That's the best thought. Okay? So there's no way to do this wrong, and no one is going to correct your spelling or anything else. Okay? So I just encourage you to let it out, whatever it is. Now I will share again my screen. I want to give you the prompts. Um, the prompt is uh, to finish that thought. The purpose of poetry is what? You can continue. Or I'm wondering, how has your poetry become a song for you? What song does it sing? Okay. Um, or let's explore this idea of wonder. What do you wonder about? What did you wonder about when you were a child? What happens when you wonder? And then this idea of the dark horses of I want to be with the dark horses and find a place of safety for myself, a place of acceptance, a place of like-mindedness. Um, that is, what is that for you? Is that a community? Is that the library? Is that a special room in your house or a chair? Is that your grandmother's house? Um, and number 5, you see I'm giving you a lot of choices here. Choice is imperative in writing, especially for women, but really for everyone. Um, how can poetry be a place of safety during times of political upheaval, as we're going through now? All right. And then let me show you some art from our Spaces and Places exhibit. This is art by Emily Mitchell. She's a young woman. Well, now, come on. Huh. Hmm. Sorry, just give me a second. I'm going to stop my sharing so I can find it. So I think it's worth seeing. Here we go. Emily Mitchell is one of our Zora Neale Hurston fellows, and her grandmother's property is right near the tail end of the Gullah Geechee community, which is part of her ancestry. And Emily Mitchell is painting images this summer evocative of her grandmother's house, her grandmother's space. So she has this wonderful lamp, the curtains that hang in her grandmother's window. So I'd like you to consider for you what evocative places of safety and love and history might there be for you, and what might you want to write about this art. And in fact, I'm going to leave it on the screen so that you can write to it. Okay, and the other option, the final option is that you can write on whatever you want. We're going to do a fast write. Here's a chance again to take a look at those prompts. Purpose of poetry. How has your writing poetry become a song? What do you wonder about? Where do you find a place of safety? And how can poetry provide safety during upheaval? Or this last one, showing you some beautiful images. Okay, now I'm going to do something that I highly recommend in your own writing practice, which is to take a moment and just meditate for a moment. Okay, I want you to just take a moment to come back down, let your mind sort of rest, close your eyes, maybe roll your shoulders. I like to get my feet solidly on the ground. Soften your belly. We're going to take 3 nice, sweet breaths. We're going to take a nice breath in and out. Another breath in and let it out. One more breath in and out. Now I'm going to set the timer for 6 minutes. And when you're ready, begin. Fast as you can. Okay. Let's try to wrap that up. Okay. Okay. So what I'd like you to do is take a moment and read over what you've written and find a line, a sentence, or a small turn of phrase that you like, and put it in the chat again. This is a way of us hearing what you've said through your lines. We call them readback lines. So just take a sentence, two at the most, and drop it in the chat. Everybody got one? I just putting in the chat, the artist again is Emily Mitchell. She's our Zora Neale Hurston Fellow in Storytelling, Community Building, and Literary Arts this year, along with artist Teresa Cook. So let's take a moment to scan over what people wrote. This is probably a lovely poem. I stood where you stood. I need to go gently and be tender with myself. My freedom song. A pinhole let soft words pierce. Painted roses unfold. Hmm. From Louisiana, I'd imagine myself swept up in the current of my grandma's affection, that one-room school teacher from the 1930s. Lovely, lovely. Thank you all. I want to give you another chance to do a second write. I'm going to pull up my agenda again for you. Go away, little screen. Okay, hang on. Okay, here we go. Couple of things. So just a couple technical things. One thing that's really important to do in writing from the training that I've had is to be reflective about what you've written, not which is different than judging. And one way to do that is use what we call a reflective write. Okay, that's when you read over what you've written and ask yourself, what do I notice? What am I aware of? Or what am I surprised by? And just do that right now. I just want you to write one sentence. If you look over what you wrote, what is one true thing that you could say about it? Just write a sentence or a phrase. And I'll just drop mine into the chat um, just as an example. You know, because I think that I think this idea of a reflective write is important because of the truth telling that is necessary for good writing. Um, Good writing, uh, in in my belief system, comes from an unmasked place. What I then later share, that's different. But when I'm writing initially, I am unmasking. And I think that is important for everyone. And also to understand that you don't always understand what you've written, but your intuition might. So step back from your writing at times and give it a little bit of an observer's perspective. All right. Um, Other options, you heard me create a bit of a found poem at the beginning with your readback lines that you entered into the chat. And that is always a wonderful option. Find beauty everywhere. Find beauty in the unique and specific words that people say. The more specific they are, the more interesting they are to me. So work with those. It's a found poem is a lot like improv. It's something where you say yes, 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 and yes, and. So keep putting things together as you would in improv and look for the beauty and look for the pattern. You can always take some of the lines that you heard today or that you wrote down. We're going to make a little poem, but you can always make a haiku from found words. Um, you can also do a golden shovel poem. That's when the last line, some of you probably already know, but the last word in each, let's say you have one readback line. Let's say the readback line that something you loved in the beginning was practice until you make it a song that sings you, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 words. So you would write a 10-line poem and the last line of each poem, word of each poem, would be that word, each word of that. Okay, so these are just different techniques. I want you to come away here with some ideas. So last thing I would like you to do, just really quick, is look back at what you wrote and convert it to a poem. Make it short. I'm only going to give you a minute to do this. take something of what you wrote and create a poem. Maybe just take one line.
Jennifer, someone's asking in the chat if they'll receive the handout. Is that something we could get to them if they want, if they would like that?
Absolutely.
Okay, great.
Absolutely.
So we'll email that over. Maria, you had that question in the chat.
I think I could also post it as a PDF.
Okay, great. Yeah, it seems like there's definitely some interest. I'll just go ahead and send it over to everybody who's signed up for this workshop after we're all finished.
Okay, so all right, let's have everyone into the chat again. Give us your little tiny poem that you just synthesized from your own earlier write. Remember, we're not judging, and you have a choice, but go ahead and write, type your poem in. Let's see if I can do it. If you hmm. You can do it with slashes or shift return.
We've got another question for you, Jennifer,
Mhm.
regarding timing, asking if this is going to end right at 1 o'clock or it will be going beyond 1 o'clock. And I think that
Do
should be
you
up
want
to
to
you.
give people a little extra time since we got cut off?
We're more than happy to keep going. Totally up to you. Yeah.
Oh yeah, girl, I'll go till tomorrow, but we're not
Okay.
going to do that
Yeah.
to you.
Let's do it. Ruth, can I just confirm that there's not going to be an issue with time limit or
Let's
anything?
go to 1:15. I think we
Okay.
lost about 15 minutes, so let's go to 1:15.
Yes.
That's
Perfect.
fine.
I mean, people have to go to work, back to work probably, but
Of course. Yeah. If you guys need to leave right at 1, totally understand. But sounds like we'll go to 1:15 to answer your question, Asia or Aja.
all right. I just did a little thing so you all can see that. I'm going to stop sharing, sorry, so you can see more easily. All right, Deborah, take care. I like it. Floral oil, lamp, gas, and flame as safe as glass. Nice. Lovely. Okay. Lovely. Okay, so um company that never came. Nice. Okay, now I want to do one more. I'm going to share my screen again here. I'm going to give you a chance to respond to some of this also, but as a journalist, I have certainly, but a lover of poetry, I've certainly had to change from being focused on prose to being inspired by poetry. And and I've edited quite a bit of poetry for our anthology. We're on volume 6. By the way, anyone in this circle is eligible to submit to the anthology if you get in touch with me at this website. I will also share my email address. And but what you'll want to do is sign up for the newsletter on our website, womenwritingjacks.org. And okay, bye, Deborah. Thank you. And you'll get the newsletter, and then you'll be notified about our anthology. But don't write for the anthology. Write for you. Most important. Okay. But as a result of that, this is what I've noticed people really this is how I edit your poetry when it comes. I'm looking for the form. How are you spelling your punctuation? The way that you're structuring it. Is it consistent? Does it help me as the reader? Clarity, of course, does it make sense? Both concealing and revealing, right? Poetry both conceals and reveals, but does it make sense? Is it penetrable? This is something really important, I think, in writing good poetry. My favorite poet in the world in real life is Anna Jacobson. If you see a workshop by Anna Jacobson, anywhere, anytime, do take that class, okay? Anna will write a poem and then she will say, I challenge myself to think of 6 other words for every word in the poem. And then she chooses the one that is best. Okay. By the way, she is doing a poetry series for us online in January. I'm sorry, in June, another J month. So again, we can notify you about that on the website. So highly recommend. But that actually comes, that first bit of advice came from my journalism professor. He said, go through your writing and take out every single cliche. I mean, sometimes they're useful, but they're tired. There's no need. It's just take that out. And of course, analyzing the flow. I'm a big advocate of reading and singing your poetry. Does your poetry sing? And this is really important to check for the biased language. And this is usually comes with any cliche of, like an example of bias would be, and a woman crying over, over the sink, thinking about her long lost husband. Use your imagination. It's infinite. Okay. So now I'm going to give you a chance to ask more questions. But one more thing I want to tell you. I told you about the upcoming poetry series. Since we're an international crowd here, I probably have one more space for our international retreat in the Cotswolds. So if you're thinking about doing that, again, you can find it on our website or go to Casa Erica Travel. Okay, that's enough of the sales. Now, I want to hear, oh, look, that's nice, Chris. Oh, Pat, nice. Wow. I love it. Summer virtual poetry. Yes, we will have a virtual. Okay, now we're going to pass the stone. If you are interested, if you have a question or would like to ask about some of our techniques that we've talked about here, would you just use the, I believe you're able to raise your hand. Let's see, how is it, as a participant, you can raise your hand. Let me see. Oh, Janessa has a question. She figured it out. Okay, Janessa, go ahead. What did you, if someone could take her off mute? Oh, maybe I can. Okay, there we go. Go ahead,
Hey,
Janessa.
Jennifer. Yeah, so I raised my hand by going to the React button at the bottom, and then you
Oh.
push that and you can raise your hand. Yeah, I work from home, and so I use Zoom a lot. I am just wondering more about the deets on that summer virtual poetry workshop with Anna Jacobson, because I'll be there. And if I could just share, I have done many workshops with Jennifer, and I love the circle. And if you're thinking about it, it is just such a beautiful, beautiful space. So I just wanted to share that. You can private message me as well, but I've done so many and it was just fantastic.
Okay, yes, thank you. And Janessa has been on our board and helped me write the very first strategic plan for this organization. So she's been a very and a featured poet in our circles and have been a lovely, lovely person to work with and build this community with. The three-part workshop on with Anna Jacobson will be virtual. It'll be similar to the workshop that we did last year. She just did a one-day workshop, but this we're expanding now to a three-part workshop about revising your work. How do you take a draft, a rough draft, like what we've created today, and turn it into a refined poem? Um, and so I believe it'll be, I think it might be on, oh, it'll be on Wednesday evenings. So I'm going to do a three-part series on revising prose in May, and then she's going to pick up that time slot and do a revising poetry in June, the first 3 Wednesdays of June. So mark your calendars. Seriously, she's a genius. If you get a chance, you should definitely take a circle with her. Maybe I've oversold now, but if you've been with her, you know. So, okay. And yes, any more questions? Just hit the react button at the bottom of your screen. Questions or comments? You could also ask me about why we do things a certain way. We can talk from the meta process. Okay. All right. Okay, so last thing that I'd like to do is, oh, Vincent, go ahead.
Oh, hi. Okay. I know it. Good morning. Okay. It's a bit random. Vincent here from Malaysia. It's actually 1 a.m. In Malaysia. So a question, you did mention about the meta part of like maybe deconstructing or recreating a poem. So how should one go about in creating something that is true, yet not mundane and plain and boring and placid, you know what I mean? So how does one create depth and color in just mere phrases and words? Because I'm kind of new and I'm kind of trying to add words, but then I realized that the words I add are quite shallow because they don't really bring the person or the reader to another place where that is my objective to build a world to bring the person by the hand. But I'm I'm very so-called, if you look at my poem, it's like very theatrical in a way. I don't know if that's what I'm going for, but it's like I don't know how to bring color to it. That's my question. How does one bring color to something that is words? Yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Yes, okay, thank you, Vincent. That's a good question. And I would like everyone to drop their ideas into the chat because you have had that same struggle, I know. And I can say mine, but I think everyone has a way of doing that. Um, uh, speaking so that you can concentrate. Okay, so specificity is writing. Writing is about putting in detail, and being as specific as possible. So mahogany colored curtains versus curtains, or Anna Jacobson technique. Let's see, curtains could be flowing. They could be, well, another word for curtains could be layers, gauze, ruffles, screens. Being very specific and experimenting. But the first thing is, don't try to get too fancy. To just write. Write. You get better. You get better. And the more true you are to what's happening and the more attentive you are to the details around you, the more your writing is going to reflect that. And of course, when you read, that will influence you. Okay. And I'm sure I'm going to send out a little handout including some of these techniques to everyone. Thank you, Vincent, for answering the question. I want to say that if you want to sign up for Anna Jacobson's class, again, when you go onto our website, I haven't posted it yet, but I will in the next week or so. But if you go ahead and sign up for our newsletter, then you'll be notified as soon as it is. Let's take a moment to, again, debrief a minute. Let's do what we call soul cards. Write a gift and a challenge from today's circle. What was one gift that you got from today and one challenge from today?
Jennifer, I'm sorry to have to interrupt.
Yeah.
Just a little time check. It's 1:11. So just a couple more minutes, and I'm gonna unmute Stephanie. She's gonna wrap us up.
Okay, sure. All right. Website on the chat. Yes, www.womenwritingjax.org. And again, if you don't identify as a woman, we still have programs for you. So, and if you're local to Jax, we have events here, and we'd love to see you. Okay, one gift, one challenge. I think that I can. I don't know if, yeah. Okay, we will definitely get the agenda to you. You can certainly go ahead and contact me on the website. We will Hope at Hand, Emma and Stephanie and Ruth, thank you so much for hosting us. I'll do a little collation summary email from today that they can send out with the agenda, with your soul cards and your ideas. So we will do that. And go ahead, Stephanie, whenever you're ready.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, everyone. My name is Stephanie Fletcher, and I'm the CEO of Hope at Hand, and we host Jack's Poetry Fest. I would like to just jump in today and apologize for the shocking and appalling event that happened, some cyber attack. We've already been working in the background trying to figure out how to prevent this from happening in future sessions. Especially now that they know they can do it. Our team is already on it. So I am sincerely so sorry for what happened today, this malicious attack. And I hope you won't hold it against us. We work very hard in the North Florida community to make lives better through poetry. And we so appreciate you participating. Thank you. And I'm so sorry.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Thanks,
you know,
Steph. I'm going to go ahead and screen share so Ruth can go ahead and wrap us up.
Okay. Emma, can you advance it to the survey? Thank
Sorry
you.
about that.
All right. So I want to thank everyone for coming today. And this is a QR code that you can take a shot of. And your feedback matters and helps us improve. And also, we really want to hear from you. You'll be getting, if you can't take a shot right now, you'll be getting a follow-up email with this same information. So, and also we would like to thank our sponsors, Florida Arts and Culture and the Cultural Council of Greater Jacksonville, Poetry Foundation, Dolores Barr Weaver Fund, Jim Moran Foundation, and the City of Jacksonville, Florida. So with that, this is the end of our workshop. We hope to see you for the rest of the workshops during the month of April. Have a great day and thank you so much.
Okay, and I'm going to stay
Thank
on.